Today we're talking about the big one, the question on every gamer's mind. When are we actually getting the PlayStation 6? Now, you might think you know the answer. Sony has a pattern, right? Well, the truth is a lot more complicated this time. Let's break down why the old rules don't apply anymore and figure out the real release window for the PS6. Okay, so first, let's look at history. For decades, Sony has followed a pretty reliable schedule. They release a new PlayStation roughly every 6 to 7 years. The PS4 came out in 2013, and the PS5 came out in 2020. That's 7 years. Following that logic, the PS6 should land in 2027. Case closed, right? Wrong, because one huge event changed everything. The PlayStation 5 launched in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic. And as we all remember, it was practically impossible to buy one for over 2 years. Between supply chain nightmares, chip shortages, and scalpers buying them all up, most of us didn't get our hands on a PS5 until 2023. Think about it. For millions of people, the PS5 generation didn't really start until 2023. If Sony released a brand new PS6 in 2027, it would feel way too soon. We barely got to know the PS5. That would lead to serious upgrade fatigue, and people just wouldn't be ready to spend hundreds of dollars on a new console again. So, what's Sony's solution? It's called the PlayStation 5 Pro. The PS5 Pro isn't the PS6. It's a mid-generation upgrade. A more powerful PS5 designed to do two key things. First, it gives hardcore gamers the power they want for massive new games like GTA 6. And second, and this is the most important part, it acts as a bridge. It extends the life of the PS5 generation. It keeps the PlayStation brand feeling new and exciting without forcing everyone to buy a whole new console just yet. By releasing the Pro, Sony basically hits the reset button on the generation, delaying the need for a true PS6. So, when you put all the pieces together, the old 7-year rule is out. The PS5 had a delayed start for most people, and the PS5 Pro is designed to stretch the timeline. All signs now point to the PlayStation 6 being released in late 2028 or even 2029. This isn't just a guess. During the huge Microsoft and Activision court case, documents from Microsoft themselves predicted a 2028 launch for the next PlayStation. Even a former PlayStation executive, Shuhei Yoshida, said that 2028 feels right. So, Sony is giving us more time to enjoy the PS5, using the PS5 Pro to keep things fresh, and lining up the PS6 for a launch that will feel like a true, massive leap forward. Now it's time for the really juicy stuff. What kind of futuristic tech is Sony packing inside this thing? Let me tell you, it's more than just a simple upgrade. We're talking about a whole new way of thinking about console power. Let's dive in. First things first, Sony is sticking with its partner, AMD, to build the main chip. This is great news because it means a smoother path for playing all your PS5 and PS4 games. Now, let's talk about the parts. The CPU, the console's brain, is getting a massive jump. The PS5 uses something called Zen 2 architecture, but the PS6 is expected to leap forward several generations to Zen 5 or even Zen 6. In simple terms, game worlds can be more alive than ever, with smarter enemies, more realistic physics, and way more happening on screen without slowing down. It's a huge brain boost for the entire console. But the real revolution, the absolute game changer for the PS6, is its graphics processor, or GPU. Leaks are calling the new architecture UDNA. That U reportedly stands for Unified, and it changes everything. For the first time, this chip is being built from the ground up to blend pure gaming power with dedicated AI and machine learning hardware. So instead of just using brute force to draw amazing graphics, the PS6 will use powerful AI to intelligently create the image. The biggest benefit will be in things like ray tracing, that ultra-realistic lighting technology. The performance gains are expected to be exponential, potentially doubling the power of the PS5 Pro and rivaling some of the most expensive PC graphics cards on the market. Of course, that powerful new chip needs a great supporting cast. The PS6 is rumored to get super fast GDDR7 memory, and more of it too, probably 24 gigabytes compared to the PS5 16. The amazing SSD will be even faster, basically making loading screens extinct. And you can expect an upgrade to the Tempest 3D audio engine for even more immersive sound. So, what's the final payoff for us, the players? What does all this tech actually get you? The goal is to make 4K resolution at a buttery smooth 120 frames per second, the new standard. No more choosing between performance and quality. And get this, thanks to all that AI power, the PS6 is also targeting 8K gaming at 60 frames per second. So there you have it. The PlayStation 6 is shaping up to be a smarter, not just stronger, console, using AI to push gaming to a whole new level. What part of this new tech are you most excited for? AI-powered graphics? The end of loading times? Let me know in the comments. Now, we're putting all the pieces together. This is the big picture, Sony's secret master plan for the next generation. We're going to cover their revolutionary AI strategy, a surprising return to handheld gaming, the blockbuster games you'll be playing at launch, and how Sony plans to take on the next-gen Xbox in a renewed console war. Let's get into it. The single most important thing to understand about the PS6 is this: its secret weapon is artificial intelligence. Sony is building the entire console around it. This is all part of a deep partnership with AMD called Project Amethyst. They are working together to build incredible AI tools. But Sony is being very smart about how they use AI. They're not using it to replace game developers. They're using it to boost performance. The main result of this is the next generation of PSSR, or PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution. Think of it as a magic trick. The PS6 will internally render a game at a lower resolution, and then use its powerful, dedicated AI hardware to intelligently upscale it to a perfect-looking 4K or even 8K image in real time. This is the key that unlocks the PS6's biggest promise, delivering stunning graphics, with things like full ray tracing at an insane 4K 120 frames per second, and even hitting 8K at 60 frames per second, all without needing a $1,000 graphics card. It's smart performance, not just brute force. For the next generation, Sony is thinking beyond just the box under your TV. They're expanding the whole ecosystem. And the biggest rumor? The return of a true PlayStation handheld. No, not a streaming device like the Portal, but a powerful, dedicated handheld console like a true successor to the Vita. Leaks suggest this device is being built with similar tech to the PS6, meaning it could natively play a huge library of PS4 and PS5 games, plus new titles. It might even have a dock, just like the Nintendo Switch. This could be Sony's more affordable entry point into the next generation. What about VR? Well, the power of the PS6 will make existing PSVR 2 games look and run better than ever. But don't expect a brand new PSVR 3 headset anytime soon. For now, Sony seems focused on supporting the hardware that's already out there. And finally, get ready for new controllers. Sony is experimenting with some wild ideas. One patent is for a controller that can actually change temperature. Imagine feeling the cold when you're in a snowstorm, or the heat from an explosion. Another patent shows a controller that charges itself using solar power from the light in your room. The innovation isn't stopping. A new console is nothing without games, and Sony is timing the PS6 launch perfectly to land alongside some of the biggest games of the era. Hideo Kojima's next big PlayStation exclusive, the spy game Fizzant, is targeting a release right in that PS6 launch window. The next Witcher game from CD Projekt Red also lines up perfectly. And of course, there's PlayStation's own studios. We know Insomniac Games is working on Spider-Man 3 and an X-Men game, both of which are prime candidates for the PS6. Add in a potential Horizon 3 and a new Ratchet and Clank, and the launch lineup looks stacked. Plus, with full backward compatibility, your entire PS4 and PS5 library will come with you, and many of those games will get enhanced for PS6 patches to make them look and run better than ever on day one. This brings us to the final showdown, PlayStation versus Xbox. And this time, they're coming in with totally different game plans. The biggest rumor is that Microsoft is launching their next Xbox early, maybe in 2026 or 2027. That would give them a huge 1 to 2 year head start on the PS6. Their hardware philosophies are also different. Leaks suggest the next Xbox is going for a brute force approach, an absolute monster of a machine focused on raw power. Think of it like a muscle car. Sony, with the PS6, is taking the smart performance approach. It'll still be incredibly powerful, but it relies on its custom AI hardware and PSSR to achieve its goals efficiently. Think of it as a sleek, high-tech electric supercar. So there it is, Sony's grand strategy. They're doubling down on the dedicated console, believing that the best experience is on powerful local hardware. They're using a brilliant AI strategy to balance incredible performance with a price that won't break the bank. And they're building out a full ecosystem with a new handheld and innovative controllers, all supported by a killer lineup of games. The ultimate question is, will their patient, polished, AI-driven approach win the day? Or will Microsoft's early, brute force strategy steal the show? What do you think of Sony's master plan? Let me know which strategy you think will win in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and if you liked this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into the future of gaming.